I'm Philip from Austria, not Australia. We don't have any kangaroos, but we have a T-shirt that says we don't have kangaroos in Austria. Austria is a big country. It's nearly as big as Hokkaido in Japan. Austria at that time, Austria also had Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, part of Serbia. That was all part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
よく聞くのはドイツ人の性格は日本人と似てるっていうじゃん。
Not at all. Not at all.
なんか真面目で時間を守って。
ああ、そういうこと。That's one small thing in a completely different culture.
Yeah. I think my image of Germans is, well, most of them, not all, but most of them are hippies. Like they live an alternative lifestyle. For example, they're vegans, they're vegetarians, they don't eat food, they just live from the sun, and this kind of strange people. They're
Germans?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if this has anything to do with kind of earliest century past, but the image we have in Italy from German people is very rigid, very serious, very soldier-like, because that's kind of the image that comes from the past. And nobody in Italy would say that Germans are hippie. Like, really? This is surprising as hell.
At least the Germans that come to Austria, they're all hippies, and there's so many. I mean, I'm not against feminists, but there are so many strange feminists who have like pink hair, or a bit, eat a bit too much, and when we in Austria think of Germans, it's usually just tourists who put on white socks and then.
Yes, okay.
The sandals.
That's the stereotype.
White socks and sandals.
That's the stereotype in Italy as well. It's like the stereotype is that they always have like usually long white socks with maybe shorts, which is the most disgusting version you have, and usually sandals on top.
Yeah.
Occasionally with the the thing that goes between the thumb. With the sock. How do you say that?
The strange sock that's like for the tabby.
Yeah, the flip-flop thing that splits the thumb and the other fingers. With the socks, which is one of the most uncomfortable things. And that's a stereotype about German people that they do that.
それウィーンに行ったら街中でオーケストラがどこでも流れてるって感じ。そうだから例えばアメリカのニューオーリンズに行ったらジャズが外でねたくさん聴けたりするけど、ウィーンも同じような感じなのかなと思って。
Well, there are actually a lot of people who just practice their instruments outside on the streets. So if like even in Japan, you have some young folks just singing some J-pop songs or J-rock, and we have the same just people who just play maybe the flute or euphonium, horn, something like that.
それなんかいいね。でもおしゃれじゃない。で日本来たら三味線弾いてるようなもんでしょ。ね、なんかいいよね。
I heard one thing about Austria, like in the past in Italy until 50 years ago, we had mandatory military service, so you could go to do 1 year in the military and come back. And now we abolished, many other countries abolished, and I think right now the only two countries that still do it are Austria and North Korea. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, actually there are a lot of other countries who do it, for example Russia or South Korea. But in Austria it's only half a year, and first when you're in high school, you have to go to they test you to see if you're physically and mentally fit for the military or not. And if you are, you have two options. The first one is to go to the military for half a year after you finish high school. And the second one is to do some volunteer work for 9 months.
Okay.
For example, helping old people or going to kindergarten and taking care of kids and stuff like that. But most of the people just go to the military. And there's actually a third option that not so many people know of it, but you can, when you finish high school, you can start studying and then explain to the military that it would destroy your life if you would have to quit university so that you can go to the military. And then they just tell you, okay, come when you're finished with university. And that's what I did. And afterwards I also escaped to Japan, so now I don't want to do it anymore.
Solid.
But generally, you have to do it, yeah. And first you have like the regular training, like basic training. It's the same for everyone. I don't know how long it is. It's maybe the first two months. And afterwards, they decide what you'll have to do. You can either be one of those guys who have to do the march during the parades, where you have like your gun and you do some crazy tricks with your gun, you hit it against your body and stuff like that. And actually I had a friend of mine who did it, and he had a lot of wounds here and here. It was everything red from the gun because he had to hit it with all of his strength. And another option is to just become a guard. So you have to guard the place for, let's say, 20 hours, and then you have 2 days off, and then you have to guard it again.
Right.
And there are a lot of different stuff you can do in the military, but most people don't like it. Yeah.
I mean, the thing you said before, you said the alternative is to do 9 months of like social services. I didn't get if that's a choice or if it's only if you're unfit to do the military.
It's a choice.
So that's what you said, that most people do the military. Why would you choose the military if you can, which is something that makes very little sense in this century, when you could do for the same time some good deeds?
For example, one reason why I would prefer the military is just to get some self-discipline, and it's only for 6 months.
Okay, so it's shorter.
Yeah, it is shorter.
Okay.
If it would be the same length, I guess more people will do some public service.
That's for male or female as well?
Only for male.
But that's kind of weird. Like I feel like
Yeah, I know it's weird.
I mean, I would say that still it could be done like both things by both genders, but even removing the military part, which some people still argue that it's better to only have men do it, whatever. But for the social works, I don't see why. Like I feel like if we don't want to have Austrian women do the military, they should just have to do the 9 months of social services. Why are they exempt from that? It makes no sense.
I don't know. It makes no sense. But there are a few people who do it, who just volunteer to do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
But it's mostly, generally you finish high school with 18, then you go to the military for half a year or do some public services for 9 months. Then you wait a bit more, and then when you're 19 years old, you go to university. That's normal for, male people in Austria. Well, women mostly. It's not mostly, but some of them also volunteer. You can also volunteer to go to the military if you want to, even as a woman.
Yeah, okay.
But, there are not many people who do it.
いいポジティブなこと言わなくていい。ここがオーストリアのここが素晴らしいからみんな来てねみたいな。ないの？
Just come to Austria, enjoy the city. I mean, the architecture is really good. There are a lot of old buildings, like everywhere in Europe, but also in Austria, in Vienna, Salzburg, you can eat a lot of Sachertorte, which is really good. We also have Wiener Schnitzel. It's like a schnitzel, an Austrian schnitzel, which is actually from Ireland, but in Italy. We stole it from Italy.
Like most things. Well, if you plan a long vacation and after a couple of days you get bored of Austria, remember that just south of the Alps you can actually enjoy much more.
One good part, a good thing about Austria is that it's located really centrally. It's Central Europe, not Southern Europe. It's Central Europe, and you can go to a lot of places. Let's say you can go to Hungary, to Budapest within 3 hours by bus. The capital of Slovakia, Bratislava, is also 1 hour, and Praha is also about 4 hours by bus or train.
How long does it take to go to Italy?
Italy, I don't know. I never go in that direction. It's
right.
I mean, there are a lot of people who live in the countryside, which is further away from Vienna and near to Italy, who just go to South Tyrol in Italy to enjoy a bit of Italian gelato.
In South Tyrol?
Yeah.
It's freezing. Nobody eats gelato in South Tyrol.
No.
They eat. I mean, food in South Tyrol is great. Like that, South Tyrol is actually a region that I don't remember. Was it Austrian or German?
It was Austrian.
It was Austrian. And it's like this region in the mountains. It's pretty beautiful. And at some point, for historical reason, it became Italian. So like the whole region is called Trentino, and the south they speak Italian. In the north, nobody speaks Italian. They just speak German, and it's great for like skiing, for landscape, for food, and I think the Austrian people hate Italy because we stole it from them.
はい、ということで今日はオーストリアについて話をしてもらいました。それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。
アーノルド・シュワルツェネッガー。
アーノルド・シュワルツェネッガーオーストリア出身なの？
あとレッドブル。
レッドブル？
マジか。
翼をくれるやつ？
そうそうそう。でも裁判で負けて翼がなくなった。
日本でも翼の跡が
なくなった。
なくなったの？
なくなった。なんか一回裁判で、アメリカの裁判かな。実際に翼生えてませんよみたいな裁判があってそこで
Come again, I didn't get it.
Even in German there's Red Bull Verleihflügel. That's where they say it gives you wings, but they actually went to court I think in America, because someone said it's a complete lie and it doesn't give you wings. And now they don't make any CMs, any commercials anymore with people getting wings.
It's kind of stupid.
It is, but it's America.